Due to its inclusion on many lists of WonderSwan games playable entirely without knowledge of the Japanese language, Buffer's Evolution is a rare instance of a WonderSwan exclusive having more notoriety in the West than it does in Japan. It was published and developed by Bandai and released on December 9, 1999. At first glance, Buffer's Evolution looks like a pretty run-of-the-mill level-based platformer with a banging soundtrack. But hidden behind that disguise are two things that go hand in hand, an upgrade system and an emphasis on speedrunning through levels. Throughout the game's levels, you'll come across a number of upgrade parts. Collecting all of the parts throughout a given level will unlock a new method to traverse through the levels, two of which can be equipped at a given time. It's then up to you to return to previous levels in hopes of improving your time using those new traversal options, or uncovering other upgrade parts that may have been inaccessible with your previous upgrades to repeat the process with even more traversal options at your disposal. It's a neat idea, and many have compared it to Metroid meets Sonic in the past, but I feel like that comparison gives it too much credit. Most parts aren't really hidden as well as Metroid upgrades were, though some might argue that those were a little bit too well hidden, and despite being a game incentivizing you to go as fast as possible through a level, I find the sense of speed to be completely lacking from this game. That said, given the size of the character's sprite, having the game go faster could be an issue, as you have limited visibility of what's in front of you, and speeding things up may leave you with too little reaction time for oncoming obstacles. There is a tension between exploration and speed, but I think it's pretty cleverly done. Exploring the levels in your first few runs will populate your leaderboard with a bunch of suboptimal times, so that your improvement when you sit down and actually try to speedrun the level will seem far more dramatic than it should have been. Then you feel really good about yourself. Of course, now that you know the secret, that trick probably won't fool you. One thing I'm not too fond of is the game's aesthetic. I mean, yes, playing a lion, chicken, or rhino that got fused together with a motorcycle is pretty metal, I'll give you that. But I find a lot of the environments in the game feel very samey, and the enemy sprites don't really vary much from one world to the next. Did I mention that some of the enemy sprites look suspiciously like Metroid's too? Oh, and while we're on the topic of enemies, jumping on them will let you bounce off of them, occasionally giving you that little extra boost you need to get something that's just a bit out of reach. Really, this game is a nice proof of concept for its ideas, but I feel these ideas never got the chance to shine in an environment where they can truly flourish. I would love to see a modern take on this kind of game, whether it's just an entirely new game borrowing these ideas, or an AM2R-like fan remake in color that isn't bound to the restrictions of a handheld system and can give it a faster pace with more sprawling levels. But as I wait for that to happen, Buffer's Evolution remains a cool little game to spend an afternoon with, but you're more likely to have the ideas, and the soundtrack, from the game linger in your mind after you've played it than the desire to play it again.